When Syracuse left the Big East to join the ACC ahead of the 2013-14 season, it was unclear which school would replace Georgetown at the top of their rivalry pecking order. Enter the Duke Blue Devils. Fans in Durham consider the North Carolina Tar Heels Duke's only true rival. With a few games between the Orange and the Blue Devils already reaching classic status, there's a chance this ACC battle could go down in the history books. So we'll play Nostradamus for this breakdown, discussing the matchups between Duke and Syracuse and predicting why it could be a rivalry to watch for years to come on this episode of Stadium Rivals. The Elite Eight of the 1966 NCAA tournament would be the first matchup between Duke and Syracuse. The Orange, led by future Basketball Hall of Famer Dave Bing, came into the game as the top-scoring team in the nation. But Duke was ranked number 2 in the country. The Blue Devils doubled Bing most of the game, holding him to just 10 points on 4 of 14 shooting. Bob Verga and Jack Marin would each tally better than 20 points to help the Blue Devils win 91-86. Syracuse won the next matchup by 2 points in 1971, but their next two meetings would really ignite the rivalry. It's hard to fathom, but heading into the 2020 matchup, Jim Boeheim, hired to lead Syracuse in 1976, and Mike Krzyzewski, Duke's top man since 1980, are still at the helm of their respective programs. The first time these legendary coaches battled came in the 1989 ACC Big East Challenge. This one was tied 13 times in the second half alone, the last when Duke's Phil Henderson stole a pass and tied the game on a layup with 13 seconds left. But David Johnson was fouled under the basket with 3 seconds left, then converted 2 free throws. Derek Coleman and the Orange held on for a 78-76 win over Christian Laettner and Bobby Hurley's Blue Devils squad. Another NCAA tournament matchup, this time in the regional semifinal, would await Duke and Syracuse in 1998. Led by Elton Brand's 20-point, 14-rebound performance and 14 points off the bench from Shane Battier, Duke came out victorious 80-67 in the last matchup ahead of the new ACC Showdowns. 35,446 fans crammed into the Carrier Dome, a record for an on-campus NCAA basketball game for the first ACC battle between Duke and Syracuse. College game day was there as undefeated number 2 Syracuse hosted number 17 Duke. Down 3 with just more than 4 seconds left, Duke's Rashid Suleiman did this.
Suleiman gets the look.
But Jeremy Grant would lead Syracuse in OT as Duke's game-tying attempt would go for naught, the Orange winning the matchup 91-89. The win marked the 21st straight win to start a season for Syracuse, breaking a school record. Hughes came to Cameron Indoor for the first time in the second matchup of 2014, and Jim Boeheim lost it. As CJ Fair drove to the baseline in the final seconds, this was called a block, and Boeheim disagreed. A lot. His meltdown and subsequent ejection helped give Duke a 66-60 victory. Duke won a pair of games in the 2014-15 campaign, but the third at Cameron Indoor was the charm for the Orange in 2016. Tyler Roberson scored 14 points and grabbed 20 boards as unranked Syracuse topped number 20 Duke 64-62. As crazy as Suleiman's jumper was, this one from Syracuse in 2017 was even better. Here's John Gillen's moment to shine.
5 seconds to go. They're going to pay attention to the clock. Gillen. Got it! Syracuse wins! Are you serious?
That 3-point buzzer beater gave the Orange a 78-75 win. Duke won in the regular season, and the schools would meet again in the Sweet 16 in 2018. Syracuse was the last at-large team to make the field and was no match for number 2 Duke. Freshman Marvin Bagley III tallied 22 points to help the Blue Devils advance with a 69-65 win. With names like Zion Williamson, R.J. Barrett, and Trey Jones, even with Cam Reddish out due to injury, it seems Syracuse had no shot in January of 2019. In fact, the Orange were 17-point dogs against the number 1 Blue Devils. Tyus Battle scored 32 for the Orange, while Zion showed out with 35 of his own, but it was Syracuse holding on after this massive alley-oop to win 95-91. It was the biggest upset win in Syracuse history and the first time a number 1 ranked Duke team lost at home to an unranked opponent. Just 15 total matchups heading into the 2020 Showdown, and already an encyclopedia of memorable moments. Duke has the slight edge at 9 wins to 6, with Krzyzewski holding the 8-5 edge over Boeheim. Projecting this matchup into the future, it's not hard to imagine similar battles in the years ahead. Syracuse and Duke in the ACC has the chance to become one of the biggest rivalries in the sport, with plenty more highlights to add to a future episode of Stadium Rivals.